Hi, this is Chuck Gilmore with Power to Sing Live, number 71. And I am live according to the YouTube channel. So I wanted to get on here just a little bit early before we begin our official show today, in this little pre-show time period. So we've got a couple of minutes here just to want to verify. Hi, everybody. Gosh, there you are. So hi, everyone. I want to make sure that you can see me and hear me okay. And so I'm going to be looking over here. This is where, well, maybe I can pull this over. Just let me try this a little bit. Yeah, so I'm going to try and make this just a little bit easier to see everyone and your comments. So great to see you guys. Wow, several people here already in the chat. And today our topic is the vocal bridge hates me. So you may have watched the video earlier in the week where it was entitled, I hate the vocal bridge. And that was a message from one of my subscribers. And I decided this week, today's video, which is going to be a live broadcast, is going to be the reverse of that. The bridge hates me. So what about you guys? Do you hate the bridge, or does the bridge hate you? Let me know in the comment section below. Okay. So quick hi to everybody. Majid, Subia. We got Bruno Inferno. Paprikov. And who else? Altu, nice to have you with us today. Yapadios, you're early today. And great. So nice to have everybody here. Everything is fine, sound, and everything looks great. So it's the top of the hour. Hi, this is Chuck Gilmore with Power to Sing Live, number 71. The vocal bridge hates me. Okay, so what's the deal with the vocal bridge hating me anyway? Well, look, let's get really frank about this. In almost every single interview that I have with a brand new singer, can you guess what the number one problem is that I encounter when I'm interviewing a new student? Right. They can't sing very high. They can't get through that middle area. And in fact, a lot of people don't even know there's a middle. A lot of guys don't, at least. They think it's the top of their voice, so they can't sing very high. And so it's really an area of the voice that causes frustration, causes fear, causes failure. And when I think about all of the time that I spent in my life thinking that I couldn't sing or that I couldn't sing very high, all because of this concept known as the bridge or the passaggio. It's very frustrating, and I guarantee you there are millions, if not billions, of people who absolutely hate the bridge, as we talked about in the video previous to this, posted last weekend. But I'm here to tell you that the bridge hates me. Why? We're going to talk more about that today. So how are you guys doing? Have you had a good week? Let me just check in here. Looks like we've already got some questions, which I will try and address later on. Before I start addressing questions, let me just greet others of you who have just joined us. Nice to see everyone here. Pull this screen up just a little bit so I can make sure I'm seeing everybody. So we've got Isa Yang. Nice to have you with us, Isa. And the vocal bridge is a challenge, and I love it. Okay, Altu, or the bridge. Oh, hey, Altu, is that what you're talking about with your handle, the bridge? Is that, or is there some other kind of bridge you're talking about. Here's what I'm talking about right here. Let me just play this little reel for you. See what you think about this. Here's how the bridge. This is why the bridge fears me. What do you think? So I think the bridge hates me. And why does the bridge hate me? Well, it's not necessarily because I'm not causing all of this destruction in a real bridge. But if Bridge was an awful monster, I am definitely facing him down. And we're getting to providing solutions to a lot of singers. Okay, so let's talk a bit about what's the bridge in the first place. And then I'm going to address your questions. So I'll try and get to everyone's questions today. We're going to end at about 2:40 today. And so I've got students coming at the top of the hour that I need to get ready for. So the bridge is called the passaggio in many cases, by many teachers. And it basically represents an area of the voice where you transition from the lower register of the voice, the lower notes of the voice. We call that chest voice. And it's a transition zone that the chest is transitioning into the higher notes of your voice, which we frequently call head voice. Now, why is it so difficult to get through this passaggio, this passageway, this bridge? There are several reasons why. First of all, the number one reason, I think, is that people don't know it's a passageway. I didn't know that. I thought it was the top. And so I felt this, I felt the top. Ah! And I knew if I went to here, it would break. Or if I just yelled harder, but at any moment it would crack or break. And so I never did. Would just stop. And there were instances where I could have tried out for different parts or shows, and I avoided them because, in fact, I didn't try out for them because I knew that the character in the show had an F in the song that he sang. That was the big song, the big finish in the song, and so I didn't even try. For others of us, particularly for the ladies, there's voice above that area that tends to break or crack or get jammed up, or where you have to go really, really light, or you have to flip into falsetto. There's more voice there because that's where most of your voice is. But so for many of you, there's, and you hear people singing up there, and you just don't know how they're doing it with power or with such strength in their voice, or with great ease going through those areas of their voice. And so you try and come up with your own approach. And a lot of times that means just yelling it up, kind of belting it up higher, or it means going light and breathy, or it means just flipping into falsetto, or it means kind of sounding like you're a second voice. You have a second voice that kicks in, or there's another singer singing high for you. If people aren't watching you, they would think maybe there was a second person singing. And so this is what the reality is for many, many singers, unless they have a gift. And sometimes there are singers out there who are just born with a gift. They can sing through the bridge and get into their head voice really nicely, really easily. And a lot of times those end up being the ones who get the scholarships at the university or become the professors who teach singing. But they don't understand why the average singer can't do it. But they scholarship other singers who can. So everybody ends up in the university and the top echelons and of the programs and so forth, getting all the solos and getting to do all the fun things because they were born with a gift. And that makes it very, very difficult for the rest of us who don't have it. So I'll tell you a story about an interview that there was a seminar that Seth Riggs was holding, and he tells a story which is very interesting, and he held a lot of them, and a lot of it, his first question was, what are the problems you face as singers? And in one case, he was relating that they had quite a large group there, and he had to and he was writing it on the board. The person, one person would say my break area, so he wrote that on the board. Another person said, yeah, me too. It's the transition from low to high. And he said like the first 16 people all confirmed it's that break, it's that passaggio. They couldn't get through it. If the note in the song landed on it or above it, they couldn't do it, or they couldn't do it very well. Finally, one of the students said, well, I get very nervous. And Seth said he thought, oh, great. At least there's one person here that isn't going to, mention the bridge. There's someone else that has another need. And he said, I break out in nervous sweat as I approach that high note that's in my bridge. So it ended up being the same problem. So this is virtually universal in its challenge if you weren't born with a natural gift to be able to transition and move through the bridge from low to high and high to low. And so that's why so many hate the bridge. But the bridge hates me. And I'm going to talk more about that in a second as to exactly why. So let me just kind of greet you all. Let's see if we have some new people who have joined us. Hi, UK. Hi, great to have you with us today, UK. And there's some questions that you guys are asking here, and I'll get to those in a second. So I'm happy to answer vocal bridge as a challenge, and I want to go back to the bridge's comment. While trying to sing in my bridge, I have learned many things, even wrote an application for it, and I want to thank the bridge. This is Altu. I want to thank Altu for that application because I've found that in teaching Skype lessons, some students don't do very well without having the piano accompaniment. And so what I've done now is I sent them the link to your application so that they can play it on their end and sing along with the piano accompaniment on their side if they don't have a keyboard, and obviously most can't play the exercises, especially that 1.5. So all of you who may not know this, you can go to the Power to Sing Facebook page, and Altu has graciously put that application there. So thank you again, Altu. It's awesome. Okay, so I want to continue with the bridge's comments. Do you think the struggle with a bridge becomes harder if one has bad vocal habits, like yelling and pulling chest? Well, what do you guys think? Do you think the struggle in the bridge is harder if you are coming with bad vocal habits? What's the feeling? I can tell you what I think from personal experience. What do you think? Okay, so while you're thinking about that, tell me, what do you think? Is the bridge more difficult if you do not have the if you're bringing with you some rather difficult problems? Okay, so let's talk a bit about why the bridge fears me. And I'm not the only one the bridge is frightened of. And I'm kind of creating an image here that I totally agree with you, Altu. I think the answer is yes. I know it was for me. But if there's a monster in singing, this is him. This is the beast, and the beastly bridge. So why does the bridge hate me? Let me just give you an example of a couple things that I found that you might find interesting. I just thought I'd check this. I was looking at the YouTube channel, Power to Sing YouTube channel, and there are millions of views now, which is really gratifying, and I think a lot of people are getting some help. Do you know what the #1 video is? The #1 video that everybody checks out, briefly at least, is episode 9. That's Singing Basics, and it's how do vocal cords work. However, it's not viewed for very long. Its average view time is about 40 seconds. You guys can draw your own conclusion as to why. So I don't really consider that the #1 video. You want the #1 video after that? So in terms of minutes and views, in the lifetime of this video, it's got over 544,000 minutes watched. And that is episode 28, How to Sing, and that is falsetto versus head voice. So how is that related to the bridge? How is falsetto versus head voice related to the bridge? Well, guess what happens when many of us hit the bridge? We break into falsetto. And so there's a big question. Well, is that my falsetto or is that my head voice? And there's some confusion between those two terms. That's really the number one watched video. Guess what #2 is? Episode 10, How to Sing High Notes and How to Sing Higher Than You Thought Possible. Over 435,000 minutes watched in the lifetime of that video. The next most viewed video, How to Get Vibrato. 5 different ways. And one of the big challenges of vibrato is doing it in you guessed it, in the bridge. The next most common video watched, the most popular video watched, is Singing Tips, the 4 vocal types. Which one are you? Over 237,000 minutes watched. The next most popular video, which would be, if you eliminate the first one, the top 5 would be How to Sing Better by Controlling Your Larynx. 182,000 minutes watched this video. So if you take all of these videos combined, I'm making a tremendous impact on. We're making a tremendous impact on your ability to be able to sing from low to high, getting through the bridge without straining, cracking, breaking, breathiness, and to do so in such a fashion that it's as if it weren't there. And that's why the bridge hates me. If I could get the entire singing world who has not yet found the solution, who doesn't even understand yet the concept, it would revolutionize and change their lives, and we completely wipe out the bridge. So the bridge hates me. All right. So let me address a couple other, say hi to any of our new visitors. Looks like no one's joined us as of late. So let me see if I can address a couple questions here. And we'll see. Asubia says, yelling and pulling chest. Well, I better start above. Otherwise, I'm going to get out of synchronization here with the questions. Okay. So, okay, so Majid asked, what is the best way to make you sing a lot without being tired? My voice gets cracked after singing too much, and then you can't sing very forcefully. Uh, Majid, how long are you talking about? When you say for a long time, are you talking about, one song, 5 songs, 10 songs, 2 hours, 3 hours, 30 minutes? And I guess I need to ask the question, what types of songs are you singing? So before I answer that, I guess I need a little bit more information. And they ask also, what is better, clavicular or abdominal breath? I love to sing from lungs because it makes my voice loud and clear. Is that right? Uh, you're not asking a lot, Majid, but I'm not sure what you mean by clavicular, other than I know these are the clavicles up here, and I know abdominal is down here. I teach that a method that utilizes the diaphragm, and all of us breathe from or with the assistance of the diaphragm. When you go to sleep at night, you're breathing with the assistance of the diaphragm. The diaphragm is this umbrella-shaped muscle that fits up underneath the rib cage, and as it contracts downward, it creates a space in the thoracic cavity, and as a result, it creates a vacuum, and air is drawn into the lungs, and then you have that air then to use as the diaphragm begins to return to its starting point in its dome shape back up into the chest. It's also helping drive the air up through the trachea and through the vocal folds, and creating the sound that we use to speak and to sing with. And it's a tried and proven methodology. And for those of you who have any questions about that, I recommend watching episodes 15 and 16 at powertosing.com in the blog, or you can find it on YouTube, episodes 15 and 16 at Power to Sing. Now, let me just address a couple of the questions here then. So Isa says, hello, I have a competition in 2 days. Any tips? Number one, I hope you've been preparing for weeks, if not months. Number two, I get very nervous and something for my voice not to break or to be unstable. So Isa, I don't know or Isa, I'm sorry, I don't know how to pronounce ISA. Maybe it's Isa. I think number one, it's a little bit late to deal with technique, because I wouldn't want to have you change anything you're doing, because if you're changing something you're doing in the next 48 hours, you're not going to be completely comfortable in your contest. So here's a couple things that will help you, however. Number one, make sure you are extremely well prepared with the lyrics. That is, go back and find the deep meaning to you personally on the lyrics. Find the passion in the lyrics that you want to share and express in the song. Because if you can feel the emotion that the lyrics and the meaning that the lyrics presents to you and to your audience, and then you can connect with someone in the audience, even if it's just the auditors that are listening to the song, or the judges, or whoever are going to be running the contest, or the audience. If you can connect with them through the lyrics of your song with passion and feeling, then your performance will markedly improve immediately. No matter how perfect your technique is, if you can feel the deep feeling of the song, then that's going to move your performance head rapidly, and you can do that. You can do that work in the next 48 hours. I hope that you have done that, because you can tell immediately when someone is very acutely aware of the meaning behind the lyrics of their song, and then share that very passionately with your audience in the contest. Okay, let me see here. I hope that helps. And that helps with nervousness, with being nervous also. So I'm kind of with the bridge when he says, I love it. The bridge represents to me now a very comfortable place in my voice, because I no longer fear it. I can feel my voice mixing at that point. And so, mom, 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 mom. So those things have all changed for me, whereas before I was singing, mom, 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 mom. So it all changes once you begin to grasp and understand what's going on in the bridge and learn to deal with it. Again, that's why the bridge hates me. I'm just helping myself and so many people face it down happily, because it's a real benefit. Actually, it actually improves the voice once we learn this ability to bridge. UK says, "Hi, I'm wondering why my voice tingles when I sing mixed voice. Sounds squealy." I guess I'd have to hear that to know what's going on. If I've never had it go squealy. If we're mixing appropriately, there's just the right blend of chest and head, and there's balance in the voice. And in fact, I've found that if we bridge appropriately and correctly, the chest voice gets better and the head voice gets better. There's some healing effect of, when we really get that bridging process down, it seems to improve the rest of the voice. So I'm not really sure what you're referring to, UK. I'd have to hear it to be able to really answer. It sounds like maybe something isn't quite right with your mix. Subia says, bridging requires good breath support, I think. We need to have good breath support to do. Yes, I think it's maybe number three or number 4. I would say your vocal cords need to be coming together appropriately, and that the larynx needs to be low or stable, resting where you speak. And in so doing, you're going to probably bridge pretty effectively. Now, as you get higher and higher into your head voice, it really, the breathing aspect really is important. But I think too many teachers make overemphasize breathing. The bridge says, while trying to sing in my bridge, I have learned many, many things. Even wrote an application for it. I commented on that. Go to Power to Sing on Facebook to get that application, which Altu has so generously shared. Okay, sorry, I just skipped this. The bridge says, do you think the struggle with the bridge becomes harder? Yes, I know for sure. And the thing that I was doing, well, I was just tightening up, really tight, really, really pulling the chest voice higher. And there's no question about it. It became a monumental obstacle for me. And, okay. Paprika comments that paprika, paprika, paprika. Oh my gosh. I apologize. The low volume makes transition easier. What he's referring to, I think, is so absolutely true. When we are first learning how to bridge, if I go louder, it just makes it so much harder. But if I say, or nay, 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 or gee, 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 gee. By bringing the volume down, what happens is when we go loud, when we're pushing, driving a lot, we have to drive more air to the vocal cords. The vocal cords in turn hold that air back so that when the cords break open, there's a larger sound wave, there's a larger intensity of sound wave, and so it increases the volume. But what it also does is, because we have to hold back that air, the chord structure holds back that air, we also tighten. And so that added tension makes it harder. So it's a really great comment that if we'll bring that volume down, paprika, maybe that's closer, makes, it's awesome. An awesome comment. Sebia says, yelling and pulling chest will just damage our vocal cords and make our voice tired. Yeah, I think that Subi is exactly right. And if we find our voices overtired and overworked, we may not be. Subia, you were right. We do need to provide some added support from the diaphragm. Speaking a lot, talking a lot on the phone. If you have to work during the day and you have to use your voice a lot, that can actually tire your voice out quite a bit, because a lot of us don't engage our full voice and don't engage the diaphragm while we're speaking. We do it pretty well when we're singing, but we don't do that when we're speaking, and so it'll wear the voice out. Okay. Eupadio says, maybe the more we think about the bridge, the more we may find ourselves hating it. Whereas if we forget about it altogether, it will effectively cease to exist. In some way, you're kind of right about that, Eupadius, because if we obsess about it, it gets bigger. The monster grows. And by relaxing and understanding the things that I teach will actually help you relax. It's not scary if it's easy. And that's one of the reasons why the bridge hates me, is I'm making this bridge such that it's not scary anymore. Burno Inferno, that made me jump. Okay, so the bridge says, yes, Chuck, you are helping us in a great way. This is priceless, and I think we're lucky to have you. Thank you, Altu. I really appreciate that. And lucky. Well, we all have been blessed by those who've come before us, right? I am a messenger. I think the person that I feel most grateful for is Seth Riggs, and some of the teachers he has trained, who I also worked with. They've all influenced my life so very greatly. But it kind of started with Seth. And I just hope that I can be the apostle, that spreads the word worldwide about what he's done. Seth's 87 now. I think he's 87. He'll be turning 88 this year, and I think he's changed the world. He's changed my world. Okay. Do all tenors, dramatic, spento, lyric, light, and high, break in E3? Break in E3. Bridge, is that a bridge in E3? Because the answer is yes, however. The caveat is many of these higher tenors especially. I don't think Chris is with us today. Chris Sparks is one who comments frequently on my site. He has a very high tenor voice, and I know other tenors like him who don't feel much of the bridge at the E, F, F sharp, but they do start feeling it at the B, or well, A, B flat B area of their voice. That's when they start feeling it. However, part of the problem is that since they don't feel it very much at the E, F, F sharp, sorry, that's the 4, E4. I'm not, no, so they don't break at the E3. I don't know what you mean by breaking at E3. Oh, there you go. Okay, E4. Yeah, so if they don't start bridging at the E4, then they are going to have a problem at A, B flat, B, and so forth, 4. That's why that's so critical at E, F, F sharp, because then the A, B flat, B, and C won't be an issue. And so they do need to start bridging there so that the second bridge is already intact. They're already in it. They're already in it, and they can get through that easily. Hi, the sound of Yasik. Nice to have you with us today. Hi, Chuck. I don't break when I sing quite loud. It's a bit tight, but I can go up to D5 with connect a strong sound and not yell. I don't have this mixed quality when singing softly. What's your take on that? I'd have to hear it. I have had singers who are so gifted, they have such good voices that they can really chest it really high. They can bring that chest voice up, and it just keeps on going until they finally hit the top, and then it cracks or breaks. So you're either in a strong mix, or you've got such a great voice you could pull the chest voice really high, which I don't recommend. There are ways to sing powerfully without having to pull chest, but I'd really have to hear what you're doing, Yasik, to know for sure. But I'm sure there's many of us who wish we had your gift. UK says, yes, to clarify, it sounds very tight, the back of my throat. Okay, that's what I mean, squealy. Oh. When there's tension or tightness, something isn't quite right. Now, there's friendly compression in the voice. If I said, nay, 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 that's a little bit compressed, but it's not nay, 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 nay. I'm not pulling up the full weight of the chest voice. And in any singing, the vocal cords have to come together, and there has to be some amount of compression of chord structure or contraction. No, 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 no. There has to be the chords come together. So there's got to be some friendly contraction or friendly compression. And if you've been a very light voice, light chest or very light breathy voice, I'm not saying you are, UK. But if someone has been a light voice and then they start getting their chords to come together more firmly, at first it feels, oh, this is too tight. Wow, I can't believe how tight that is. Well, they have to get used to it in order to get their chords to function appropriately. So it might be that it's like going to the gym. They have to start, lifting some weights and developing that the strength of the vocal cord. But in the bridge and in head voice, there's a balance. It's not. There may be a little more compression, but there's not pulled up weight from the bottom that is going to damage the voice. So sometimes it takes a little bit of getting used to if we're not accustomed to a little bit of friendly compression. Let me see here. Revisiting the sound of Yasik. I don't break when I sing quite loud. Okay, yeah. So I don't know. I'd really have to hear exactly what's going on before I could say, give you a really good answer on that. It's a little challenging to answer some questions because I can be general about it, but to be specific, it gets harder because some people, like in the case UK of your case, it's just hard for me to translate into my mind what sound you're creating by by it being very tight in the back of your throat. And so I'm sorry, it's just hard to translate that into a good answer for you. I wish I could. Hi, Osminium. Nice to have you with us this week. Shane Primus. Hi, Shane. My voice does crack. Okay. Been there and done that, and I understand. It's probably, Shane, has to do with the bridging process that we're talking about today, that many of us no longer fear, and in fact, we're making we're creating fright in the bridge. The bridge is frightened by us because we can approach it so confidently now. Majid says, "Sir, I want the way to make me sing without being tired fast." Majid, if I sing and I'm pulling my chest voice too high, or I don't have adequate, or I have, maybe I'm tired, I didn't get enough sleep, maybe I'm I'm not drinking enough water, maybe I'm a little out of shape. Perhaps if I pull my chest voice too high, or if I sing too loud, or if I sing too hard, meaning that I suppose that's kind of related to the volume. I get tired. So the advice I would give you is don't do any of those things, and that should help you. Now, I'm assuming that you're bridging appropriately so that when you get to E, F, F sharp, and G, A flat, A, and so forth, that you're not pulling your chest voice into that area, because you will get tired and you will wear your voice out if you are. If you're not, you may be singing, you're doing all the right things. Well, I got to say, even if I'm singing loud, if I'm bridging appropriately, it doesn't tire. It usually tires when I'm bridging too late, or when a singer's bridging too late. In other words, they might be entering the bridge for the guys that maybe they're waiting till the F, F sharp, or even the G before they start bridging. That's too late. For the ladies, if you're waiting to the B flat, B, and C, that's too late. You need to get in it as soon as you can, preferably maybe even earlier than the E for the guys and the A for the girls. I can't answer it any other way without hearing you. Okay, so let me see. Isak says, I flip a bit, but not into falsetto around the G4. When I add a bit muscle, it's easier. Might have to book a lesson soon. So Isak, sometimes we might have a little road bump, but it reconnects, and so it's not completely disconnecting in the falsetto, but usually has to do that. Usually means in some way the larynx is coming up. So one of the things you might want to try is goo 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 goo. If for the ladies, same problem would be up here. Goo 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 goo. Now, if you find yourself saying goo 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 goo, then you know the larynx is going up, and that might be a reason why there's some instability or some cracking or breaking. Oh my gosh, it's almost quarter till the hour. I didn't realize I was so late. Okay, so let me wrap up with a couple of these, try and answer these other questions here. Sound of Yasik, love to work with you if you would like. I would be delighted. I'll show my website to you guys here in a second. Do you have Osmium, Osminum Studios? You always have difficulties with my name. Sorry. Would you like to do a song together? Sure. Sorry, I have difficulty with many names. It's not just you. Okay, Subia, not compressing too much may be. Don't know what that is. How to relax women's chest around G4, G sharp 4 without going into head voice too soon. I'm talking about pulled chest, larynx type. Any ideas? Yes. Oh, hi, Judy. Nice to have you with us today. That's my wife. Now, so how to relax women's chest around the G4, G sharp 4 without going into head too soon. You know what you might want to do, Yasik, is go above and bring it down. Bring down your, you could bring down mix to G4 or G sharp 4. It may work very well. So if you said, come up here to like the high B, the B4, mum, 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 mum. Find that mix, mum, 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 A flat, mum, 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 mum. Keep bringing it down. Don't let it go in the chest. Mum, 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 mum. There's the G sharp, or the G flat rather. Mum, 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 mum. So now you've brought mix down instead of had to fight about going in too early. So once you can find that feeling by bringing it down, mum, 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 get that feeling by just going through it like that with that octave repeat. Try it in the song on mum with that same feeling, and then see if that would transition for you, help you in that transition area. It's a very challenging area for the women's voices. F, F sharp, G, G sharp or the A flat can be rather challenging. It's okay to bridge early. It's not okay to pull to bridge late. It's all right to bridge early. Okay, I've got to run. Love you, teacher. What's the better clavicular? Breathe from lungs and makes my. I don't know what I'm looking at here. I think I've already. It's abdominal breath. That's the answer. Using the diaphragm. I was asking you to describe open throat singing. I don't know what open throat singing is. Sorry, Subia. I don't deal with that kind of terminology, so I don't know what that means. All right, everybody. I hope this has been helpful and interesting to you. We are making the bridge terrified of us. I am. The bridge hates me now because it represents nothing at all. There's no worry. There's no concern. There's no fear. There's no frustration. And I'm embracing it because I know what to do with it, and I'm helping a lot of students do it too. Now let me just help you here. You can go to if you go to powertosing.com and take this power test, get your vocal type. It's you either take a quiz or send me your test. I think all you guys have done this already. Then you can go to the Knowledge Center, click on whatever your vocal type is. Like for example, the pulled chest, high larynx exercises, just the page on the pulled chest, high larynx, and then you can select any of these videos. But you should watch all three of them, and the same thing on each vocal type. Look at each of these videos. The first one talks about what it is. The second one, I give you exercises for you to practice because they're going to help you bridge. And in the case of light chest, no chest is going to also provide the correct vocal cord condition for bridging. So, and then you can download the free exercises on those pages. So, great to have you with us today. It's time for me to wrap this up. I appreciate your attending. Thank you for your comments. And I hope that you are also finding that in your singing that the bridge is afraid of you, that the bridge hates you because you are mastering it. You are sending the beast back into the cave because you're no longer fearful of it, and in fact, you're the master of it. So this is Chuck Gilmore with Power to Sing Live, number 71. And a reminder to you that you can sing higher with beauty, confidence, and power. I'll see you inside the next video. Thank you.